Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mahmoud Akbar Afridi, and today we would be studying connectives. Connectives are used in English, which helps in many ways. It makes our English easy, and it is the main key to get good marks in your English paper. Okay, so our for today our connector is in spite of, which means instead of. Do not use of after despite. Sometimes people says despite of doing this they do this. So this is wrong. Write in spite of as three words, as three different and separate words. In spite of the storm, all the travelers returned safely. Travelers mean the one who travelers, but over here the spelling is a little bit different. It's Trawlers. Okay. Despite the storm, all the boats returned safely. Sorry, trawlers doesn't mean travelers. It means boats. Okay. Another linking word is the nevertheless, which means despite this fact. Grace has a bad temper and is rather arrogant. Nevertheless, she is a brilliant engineer and is very successful to our film. However, is another connector. Mary is very fond of cats. However, she dislikes dogs. Annie is fond of cats. Her dislike of dog, however, is also known. Okay. Moreover, which means in addition to this thing. Okay, the Columbia space shuttle is cheaper to build than the earlier type of spacecraft. Moreover, it can be used several times and is thus cheaper to operate. Thereby, which means which is put in specific conditions. When you have, whenever you would put thereby, so you have to also put a and with it and ing with it as well. When charged with the crime, the man nodded his head, thereby admitting his guilt. Over here, you could see after thereby, the word admitting is having ing at its end, his guilt. When the traffic lights changed red, a taxi stopped suddenly, thereby caused a chain collision which involved five vehicles. Okay, another word is whereas, introducing a contrast or comparison. It's the same like contrary and on the other hand, but sometimes it's specifically used, sometimes not always, it's specifically used for comparison degree. It's a comparison degree. John always drinks tea, whereas his sister prefers coffee. America usually exports a huge quantity of grain, whereas Russia often imports a large quantity. Russia is self-sufficient in oil, whereas the USA isn't. Okay, for example, is a very good connective and it is always used in our papers. If she likes, Mary can take up a career. For example, accountancy, law, or medicine. It's whenever, after example, most of the time, the word commas would be used between professions, jobs, cars, anything. If she is good enough, Mary can prepare for a career. For example, she can be a doctor, lawyer, or accountant. Notice that the following type of sentence is wrong. The second part does not contain a verb. Okay, so this is connectives, and these were the last few connectives, and we're here the topic of connectives get over. Thank you for listening.